It would be really nice to see everybody. Would request everybody to please switch on your video so that we can see each other and share our smiles together. All right, so before we begin, let us all take a moment of silence and just gather all our energies so that we are able to receive the most out of today's session. Come. Thank you everyone. All right, so with that, I would really want to welcome everybody who has joined us today to know more about what is Savitri Art and what is it that was launched on 15th of August this year, almost like a month back. And yes, we are really very delighted and very happy to have all of you here. So today we have three aspirants and three participants who will be sharing their very vibrant journey with us with regards to Savitri art. So I'll just share very quickly about what is Savitri art, how it took birth, and what is it that is being offered for us to be able to really feel the sacredness and the sanctity with which these guys have really compiled those, how we can really, take the fruit and really make our spaces at home more sacred, more divine in that sense. So this year on 15th of August, which marked the beginning of the 150th birth anniversary of Sri Aurobindo, as we started celebrating that, the Savitri Art Sangha, they released a compilation of 21 paintings which were really based on the lines of Savitri. So the way this whole process kind of took birth, how did one choose a line, or how did one receive a painting? How was the painting put into paper? All of this process really had like a background work of over a year that kind of went into all of this preparation, which we'll be seeing a little bit glimpses of today. So essentially, this journey started with one of the offerings of Poonam Center of Integrality, which is called Savitri painting. So, for some of us who would not know about Savitri, Savitri is actually a poem, a major work of Sri Aurobindo, which is a poem that comprises of more than 24,000 lines of poetry. So it is a big book that Sri Aurobindo had written, and it really has the essence of all the philosophy that he has talked about in his entire series of works that he has written. So each and everything is really part of these 24,000 lives. That conscious force is really, put into each and every single word. So we are talking about a poetry of such magnitude and such essence and such force. So it started from a course which really picked lines from Savitri, going deeper into just one single line at one time. So over 1 week at times, there were participants who were picking up one line, staying with that line throughout the day, embodying that line throughout the day, throughout the week, and really letting the force of those words work through us. So it was not really a mental study of Savitri or trying to interpret the words of Savitri, but much more than that, really feeling it in a sense, really embodying it in our body, really embodying it in our lives. So with that aim, the Savitri painting course is something that took birth with several participants. We are currently running the fourth cohort with about 24 participants this time, and these courses have been running for almost 1.5 years now. And that is something that really gave birth to something called Savitri Art Sangha, which comprises of three things. It comprises of Savitri, it comprises of art, and it comprises of Sangha. So we talked about Savitri, we'll now talk about art. So interestingly, none of the three participants who we'll be meeting today, the ones who have really offered these 21 paintings, we'll see a glimpse of what these paintings look like. And it is really interesting to see that none of these are really artists, but they really hold a very deep love for Savitri, and with that, a really deep love for painting. So we talked about Savitri, we talked about art. We'll now talk about the third aspect, which is the Sangha. So as part of this process, what happened was each one stayed with one line for a long period of time, and they really went deeper to look for the essence, to ask for the essence, held that aspiration and shared it with mother to really release it as part of their paintings. So that is the process that each really went through. Plus, the second, like on the other hand, there is one main pillar of Sri Aurobindo's philosophy, which is about the yoga of perfection. So, from a second aspect, that pillar of yoga was married to this aspect of art and Savitri. Once both of these kind of came together, the Savitri paintings became much more finer, much more richer. And there were mentors like Manoj, there were mentors like Divyanshi, we had Archana, who really helped the participants just fine tune or just perfect these paintings more and more. While the imagery itself did not have a mental birth, it had a birth really from the soul, from the higher realms where each one of us really meditated, went within, and tried to put whatever was flowing through our soul on paper. But there was an aspect of perfection, there was an aspect of repetition to achieve that perfection that all of the participants went through. And while they'll be sharing their journeys, they'll also talk about the number of iterations they went through to reach that final masterpiece, so to say, which really captures the essence of that line perfectly. So yeah, this is like a very short summary of the whole process that these participants took over the last almost like 4 years in 4 months of intensive work, with a background work of over a year that went into the birthing of this offering that we are sharing today. Apart from this, we'll also have the website launch of the Savitri Art today, and we'll also be sharing the link from where we all can download the pictures, we can fill up the form, and yeah, let us all incorporate all of these paintings and make our own sacred spaces as we go ahead. So with that, I'll quickly introduce our three participants for today. So our first participant we have is Sahana. I'll just spotlight her. Yeah. So we have our first participant, Sahana. You can see her on screen. She's currently working as an assistant professor in Kumar Guru College of Liberal Arts in Coimbatore. She had a very interesting journey of coming to Mother in Sri Aurobindo during her PhD research and has been a special instrument of the divine work since then. She's currently also holding several sanghas for Poonam Central of Integrality and has really been that pillar who has a very gentle push to keep all these collective sanghas together, something that we just talked about a few minutes back. So she's Sahana. We next have Padma Rani. I'll just spotlight her for everyone. Yeah. We next have Padma Rani, who is based out of Hyderabad. She has been working with children and young adults with special educational needs, and it really motivates her to see them excel in whatever they do. It was in 2008 that her visit to Pondicherry Ashram, and that on a very special day on 15th of August, that the sunlit path really opened up for her. And she really felt like I've come to my home and I really want to be here. And that experience is something that really changed her life. I'll also spotlight our third speaker for today. Yeah, so our third speaker for today is our dear Usha, who is also a child of mother and is currently based out of Philippines. She reconnected with art almost after a decade through sadhana of spiritual drawings that she took up, which subsequently led her to Savitri painting and which further gave birth to Savitri art. She really holds a deep aspiration of transformation and really being able to find her soul through art and through the sadhana of Savitri. So with that, I really welcome all three of you. I'll welcome Sahana first to share her journey and how we kind of took this process. But before that, let me just quickly stream the video, which really captures this whole journey and how we kind of made progress little by little. So we'll just take 2 minutes and watch the video, after which we'll go ahead.
To fling the light down like a net of gold. His being lay down in bright, immobile peace and bathed in wells of pure spiritual light. Her nature felt all nature as its own. A while Let me lay my head upon thy lap. Creation leaped straight from the hands of God. Wasting the passionate pattern of her blooms and festival riot of her scents and hues. All nature was at beauty's festival, and beauty and rapture and the joy to live. In the unapproachable stillness of his soul, intense, one-pointed, monumental, lone, patient, he sat like an incarnate hope. Many-petaled lotus throne, a lotus of light-petaled ecstasy. A miracle of the Absolute was born. Infinity put on a finite soul. And guides the world with its all-seeing gaze. The world shapes that are fancies of its truth. It entered the mystic lotus in her head. All ocean lived within a wandering drop. A time-made body housed the illimitable. A woman sat in clear and crystal light. A body of the music of the gods. Music brought down celestial yearnings. A lotus of light-petaled ecstasy. There poured awakening streams of diamond light. Visits of beauty, storm sweeps of delight rained from the all-powerful mystery above. There poured awakening streams of diamond light, and bathed in wells of pure spiritual light. In this human portion of divinity, she seeks the greatness of the soul in time. Thou art a portion of my soul put forth. It glided into the lotus of her heart. The presence chambered in lotus secrecy. She was a subconscient life of tree and flower. The flowers answer to the sun and gives the rapture offering of its all. Heavens leaning down to embrace from all sides earth. The incarnate dual power shall open God's door.
And now invite Sahana to go ahead and share her journey.
Hello everyone. So happy to be in this space. As you saw the video, it has been a wonderful journey for us. I don't know if you could feel the magic in the video. Just like the video, this whole journey has been so magical for us. It becomes very difficult to put it in words. But today what I've tried is just put some painting together and then take you or walk you through how it has been for us. I just take a minute to share my screen. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay. So it has many faces. I mean, today we are talking about Savitri art. It is all because of Savitri painting, and Savitri painting has like stayed with me very close to my heart. So my part of sharing for today is going to be more about Savitri painting and how I moved to Savitri art, and then Padmati will take you to the further journey. So for me, I remember when Devanshi shared about Savitri painting, I was like, oh my God, there is Savitri, there is art, and there's going to be poetry, there's going to be music. It's like, wow. I could not simply ignore that message. I opted for it, but I knew I was going through a very important phase in my life, which was like submitting my thesis, for which I was working like for 5+ years. And I was not sure if I'll be able to give my 100% to it, to the Savitri painting. I just simply joined for Feb cohort, and I simply could not believe it. I painted every day, almost every day. And even though there was no time, even though I had so many things to take care of, she was just pulling me, and I could not really stop that, pull. So this is one of my first painting, reading Savitri and painting the sunlit path. And when I painted this, and I was just wondering, what am I doing? Is it even relevant to the line? So many thoughts in my mind, and I could not really be in the process, yet it kind of gave me a new experience. And then onwards, it was like expanding like a flower, or blooming like a flower. Something in me was like opening to her, was opening to Savitri. So this is like, in Savitri painting, we choose a color and we focus on a particular color. This is how playfully I started the journey, without even realizing what it could be, or yeah. And slowly, when I started concentrating on Savitri and just being with her and just bathing in her power, I really could not believe, even today when I was just putting these paintings together, how could I paint this? How could I really think of a painting like this in a normal state of my being? I would never imagine me doing this. So it gives so much joy and so much delight, and this is what I call it as magic of Savitri. I would never, I would never have imagined otherwise, if I wouldn't have joined for Savitri painting, that this could really flow through me. So through this journey, there was something opening within me. As we say, Savitri painting, the subtitle goes like, paint your soul. I don't know if I was painting my soul, but there was something deep within me was opening, and I could really sense that. And I was slowly entering into that power of Savitri, powerful word of Savitri, and into her magic. Every day I would get some answers, which I was holding for the entire day. I would either paint early in the morning or late at night. I used to sleep with peaceful mind, because I would get an answer from her. This is it, my child, this is it. This whole stressful period of submitting my thesis became so easy, though it was on the outer side, it was seemingly stressful, but interiorly or internally, I was holding on to a very strong ground, on which I could just slide through that important phase. And it has been a journey of concentration for me, because after this laptop came into my life, after this mobile came into my life, my the span of attention or my ability for concentration has really gone down, if I compare to earlier days. So Savitri painting really held me. Like, I could not really look around. I had to like be with her, be with the line, and be with the brush. So that really enhanced my that. So I would put it as it has been a journey of concentration for me. And this is the first line that I was holding on to, as Palak was describing, holding on to a line for a week. A deeper consciousness welled up in her. I think this is what the journey has been for me. Uh, Deeper into the process, as deep as I could go, there was deeper consciousness that was birthing in me. So that is what I also said, like, there was something opening up inside me. It's very difficult to really put it in words. Yeah. And I was holding on to this color, staying with the color blue. That really was like so magical. It just put me outside of me, put me this, bounded body in which I was living, and with my narrow thoughts and limited self ideas. It just pulled me out of it and just showed me the vaster, or the larger world, or the beautiful earth in which I was living, in which I am living. So that transition was so powerful. that blue gave me as a gift. And then one takeaway through this journey has been for me to really let go of that ego, let go of that pride that comes with when I paint, oh, this is my painting. And also not to look at things as mine, because it was a group that with which we were painting. It was a collective space in which we were painting. It became so easy for me to let go of those notions of pride and not being able to paint things, or this is not good, this is not right. Yeah, these things, to be able to let go of that was really easy for me through this process. So I just have put some of the paintings which are really close to my heart. Even after the course got over, I kept painting. I could not really stop. I was going through sort of a difficult phase in my life. It really helped me. It anchored me within myself, deep within, and let me pass through that phase quite easily. As I said, it showed me greater power in life. It's not me who's designing my life. It's not just me. It's not just about my career, my studies, and my life. There's something greater than me that is holding me and that is carving a path for me. That became very evident for me. And unless and until I looked back at my journey and saw what was happening, I did not realize how subtle this process was and how powerfully there were certain shifts happening within me. Even when today, when I was putting this together, I could really see that, subtle things changing in me. So the whole process has been like a mother holding her child. We don't realize whether mother is there or not. We just eat her whatever she cooks, and when she's just gone for a day out, then we realize, where is my clothes, where is my food, I'm not getting this. So she has been like a mother for me, carrying me, holding my hand gently and taking me forward and forward, step after step. I did not realize, she was there, that gentle it was, that sweet it was, yet so powerful. And slowly, when she called us, the three of us, and then she put this idea of, what if we take a step ahead of, along with inner perfection, can we look at outer perfection as well? I was really doubtful of it, because I had no idea of how to really use the brush, or how to even preserve the brush, because my brush was so used and misused and kept so unwell. So that crude was my process, my approach towards painting was. But then somehow she had trusted, and I feel blessed for being taken for this process, because so many things came along through this process, being participant of Savitri painting to holding space for Savitri art. It's a blessing for me, and I still don't know, I've done a good job being in that space. So when she gave me this first vision painting of hers, Divyanshi's vision was this. I started with how to paint a lotus, and then slowly to the human figure, and slowly to a woman. And finally, the painting that you see on the poster, right now, I don't see it as my painting. It has birthed, or it has emerged through that power of collective space and nurturance of all those guidance from Divyanshi, Manoj, and Archana. With every little step, you could see the, many paintings that were made. With everything, they had the patience to really pay attention and to say, this is what has to be improved, or this needs some attention. And this gives this kind of a feeling, and this has this kind of an essence. So yeah, the journey has been so powerful. And as I said, it's very difficult to put in words, especially in a stage like this. What I would say is, the whole journey has given me a taste of what it means to be in the state of self-surrender, self-consecration, what it means to give all yourself into the process that you are in and just be the process. So it has given me the taste of that, and I want more of it. So deep gratitude for everybody's presence here, because you see our paintings today, but this could come only because of so many hands behind, so many pillars behind holding us together and carrying this little space. Yeah, thank you. Deep gratitude for everyone. Thank you so much. Padmadi, over to you.
Thank you, Sahana. And good evening, everyone. We are in this collective space where Sahana is actually, it was once again a beautiful journey from the beginning. It was so very touching, and you actually walked us through the whole of experience, and very beautifully done, Sahana. Yeah, mine. Let me introduce what Savitri meant for me. So in a way, Savitri was somebody whom since childhood, I can say that she was one character from our mythology, from our legends, which really attracted me. It also happens to be my first Amar Chitra Katha, actually, as a child. So that was the first Amar Chitra Katha, which we grew up reading, all that. So, so at that point of time, I was really attracted to that personality who was a mixture of so many qualities, all woven into one. A strong individual, a princess who chose to marry a prince who was not, he was actually living in the forest. He lost his kingdom, he lived in his forest. And the whole character which he comes, and all the while knowing that he's going to live only for a year. It was all very magical. When as a child, the story just stayed with me for many, many, many years, and it's there. And it was a legend for me. And then when in the year 2008, when I visited the ashram, Sri Aurobindo ashram in Pondicherry, it was magical. It was out of the world experience. The place, Auroville, even at just looking at the Matri Mandir from far, because that was day one, we were not even allowed to go inside. We just saw there and just aspire to be one day in that globe, And the ashram, the visit to the rooms, it was all magical. It's totally out of the world, as I say, because I didn't even realize there's something called some place like Pondicherry, somebody like Sri Aurobindo. I'd already seen his photographs, mother's photographs, but I've never ever got connected or got an opportunity to read his works. And then my eyes fell on the books. When you go to Sabda, when you go to the book center, you see a lot of books and you're in a whole new world. So like any new aspirant, you suddenly pick up a lot of books. So I kind of picked up some books. But when, I'm sure many of you will relate to this. So when I opened the books, reading those lines, it just didn't happen. I didn't get anything. And leave alone Savitri, not a single line. I was not able to understand anything. And Savitri was a poem. And it felt beautiful holding it. I knew it was magical. There was something very deep in it. I could just feel that. But when I tried to read it, it was totally, it was just going above the head. And yeah, they lay on my bookshelf for a very long time, many years rather. And then suddenly, like magic, there was this, of course, I visited Pondicherry. I was in connect with, because as a counselor, I was working with children with special needs. So I had opportunity to visit Pondicherry, attend a few workshops on integral counseling. So that's how the touch was there. Started reading a bit of Sri Aurobindo, trying to get it, a little bit of integral counseling and integral education. But Savitri still was something which was not really happening. It still was there on my shelf. And then last year, something beautiful happened. In the month of November, I think this Divyanshi had offered this Savitri painting as a course. And then my very dear friend Meera, she just sent this flyer to me. She said, why don't you do this? Yeah, I like painting. I mean, I just have I can play with the brushes, have an aspiration of painting, wanted to paint. So I do a little bit. I used to do rather. So when Meera had sent this flyer from Divyanshi about Savitri painting, then the connect between Savitri and painting happened, and then I just plunged into it. I just took the opportunity and I joined this course. And that was again magical. It was a world on its own. The new doors had opened where the essence of Savitri started happening, because how delicately, how beautifully Divyanshi and her team of 4 facilitators took us along the path. We just started reading just a few lines, like 4 lines only, and staying with those 4 lines in the first week and getting the essence of it, and slowly boiling it down to 1 line, and again, then just staying with a phrase. It was amazing. Yeah, I mean, I did not actually put up my paintings of my Savitri painting journey. I will be sharing a few of my paintings in the Savitri art. So that is how Savitri started opening. I mean, I started realizing how it started unfolding for me very delicately and very effortlessly. Mother was doing the work, and how I was getting the essence of Savitri finally. So yes, that was so Sahana, Usha, and I all were in the same Sangha, painting every day. We did a lot of these paintings, stayed with, we colored. My color, which I was living with, was with pink, and mostly pink. And the way we started painting and exploring colors, living the color, living the lines, it all happened. And that's how gradually the Savitri painting gradually brought us to some, it opened up, like Sahana was just now saying, it opened our inner, it started like kind of it got me connected to my inner heart center, the inner psychic being, and which it was magical. Savitri started unfolding herself. And then painting started flowing and flowing. And then comes Divya and she says, this offering of Savitri art. I would like to share, just. And then when Divyanshi said, "Why let's," I mean, she had this sangha call. I mean, she had a meeting with us, and she said she had this vision. She's having a vision. There are certain paintings, and she wanted a few of us, like Sahana, Ushami, and so she shared her visions, and she asked us to try painting them. And yeah, let me share my screen. Palak, is this okay? Is this coming clear?
Yes, we can see.
Thank you. Yeah, so then this was the first vision painting which Divyanshi shared with us. And she asked, could you try using that? She was getting those beautiful visions and she tried explaining to us. And then, yes, so there were vision paintings, and there were some paintings which we all as Sangha read the lines, and we met every week and we painted a few lines on our own. But there were many which the vision paintings, which we call them as vision paintings, because this was a vision of Divyanshi actually, and how that, it seems, yeah, this is an effort after doing multiple paintings actually. So it is the very first one in this in Savitri art which I have made. And I can't even say that I have made it, because it was like, it was a process where we started painting and then the painting happened in itself. It was a process where we just got carried, like it was almost like we were just the instrument and it was just flowing out. So and then there were certain lines when Usha, Sahana, myself, we used to meet once a week. After the Savitri art started, we used to meet once a week, and then in a Sangha call, and then we would read lines from Savitri and try to hold a line or a phrase. And then there were times when we just painted on the same line. If you have seen if you have noticed in our video, there is something called, the creation, the magic creation. So that it was one phrase where we held on to, and then we painted many paintings on that. So on totally, I think we have done quite a lot. Like there were almost like 69 paintings, I think. And yes, and there was this, we would concentrate and then just come up with a painting for the next 10-15 minutes, and the painting would emerge. So it was more like, it was just a flow. So really, once a painting was done, I could look as a spectator myself. That was the feeling I got from these paintings. So these are some of the paintings which I've done in the Savitri art. So this one, again, it was a meditative process. In our this something came up itself, the lotus, the 1,000-petal lotus blooming just above above us, ready to accept the energy, the flow from above, and how it got connected to our or my inner psychic being. The way I could relate to this, it was like, it was totally, again, very, very magical. So this was another one. yeah, this was again very, I mean, there were times when we would read the Savitri lines and the painting would not even emerge at that point of time. Yes, we would paint, but then, you know, maybe early in the morning, actually this happened the next day morning. When I just woke up in the morning and I was just sitting quietly and the lines just came back to me, and that once offering to the Divine Mother, it kind of flashed, the painting kind of flashed, I feel. And it just took me about a very few minutes to do this. And it's one of the paintings which is very close to my heart. Yeah. Yeah, this is again the series of where one is connected to the Aina being and the huge lotus above, or you know, where it's like as if we are receiving the energy from the mother. And then this beautiful painting, this is one of my, again, another favorite of mine. This happened between, yeah, like we said, we had been doing Savitri painting. And then during the Savitri painting, what we do is we also have these Sangha calls. And this happens every once in a month. We again meet our Sangha partners, and the two of us, you know, all the Sangha, there are many participants in the Sangha painting cohorts, and I was in the second cohort. So there is this Sangha painting, the Savitri painting alumni, where all the members who have participated in all the cohorts of Savitri painting are there as a group. And we all meet once a month. And it so happened, it was like, yeah, just before August, I think, we were ready, we were looking for some paint, we were trying to paint in the Savitri art. Then in one of my Sangha painting with Priya, who happens to be a Sangha alumni of another cohort, a cohort of the earlier one, the January cohort of painting, Savitri painting. So we sat, and then we got such beautiful lines that day. It was awesome. It was beautiful. It was again an experience. And it was, I mean, it was really, it was something beyond words, actually. And incidentally, I don't know, somehow, always these lines seem to be having a connect, the lines which we get and our Sangha partners get. And that day, this painting just emerged. That day, I just did it in this watercolor. And later, I couldn't stop. I had to do this in my favorite medium, the oil painting. So then so it is a result of this Sangha painting of the Savitri artists, Savitri painting alumni. Yeah, lotus has always been my favorite. So throughout my Savitri painting course in the month of February, I was putting in lotuses, small lotus, big lotus, everything was a lotus, and that too a pink color. It was always there. Lotus had to be there. In fact, I did not put in that painting, but there was, I remember one of my favorite paintings, another one where it says he held Savitri in his arms. I don't remember the lines right now, because, but then even that Savitri also I depicted as a lotus. So lotus has always been something which has been always very, very close to me. The pink lotus and the white lotus also. So you see these quite a lot in my paintings. So this was something which I did in the Savitri art, tried to do a Savitri, 1,000 petaled lotus, all facing, all ready to receive with openness Yeah. Even looking at these paintings gives me a lot of joy, actually. So it's like that. And yeah. So these are few of my paintings which I have shared, which I've done in the Savitri art. Though I couldn't put much from my Savitri painting. So yes, what I can say is the Savitri painting course actually has opened the sunlit path for me. It had opened a lot of doors. It was like you enter a door and then another door is opening. There was this beautiful painting which always comes to me. One of our Sangha partner painted beautiful doors, and you go through one door, it opens to another one, and it's a sequence of doors. So since February till now, it has been like that. So and then every day, like every time now, when I read lines from Savitri, yes, I'm trying. It is like I'm trying. It's like we are able to get the essence from it now. So there was a time when I was not able to understand Savitri at all, but now when now it has become like I know, yes, now I can hold Savitri, I can read, can get the essence of it, read it and enjoy. And there's something like, Savitri has the answer to all of your questions, all the questions which are arising from within. This could happen only because of Savitri painting. So I mean, in a joyous mood or in any state. So I just have to connect with Savitri. And this has beautifully come up. And if it was not for Divyanshi, if not for Manoj, for Archana, and no, they have kind of guided us through these paintings. But before that, in Savitri painting, we had Palak, we had Archana, then we had Kamini. So they were like, they were holding that beautiful space. It's like one of, I mean, something, what do you say? The best that could have happened to me. Especially in this pandemic, we were all locked down, and we were all at home, working from home, but this beautiful experience which Savitri painting has brought us, and then gradually how it led to Savitri art. And I should definitely mention again this one. While I was doing the Savitri painting, before that I did not even see Hoota's paintings. During that time, I was fortunate enough to visit Pondicherry and see the paintings. After I started the Savitri painting journey, then I got this aspiration. It's like such a small being, but the aspiration was so huge. I just had this aspiration that I should paint lines from Savitri, like that was there. And one fine day I should read, and then I should paint, I should continue my Savitri. Even after Savitri painting, I had this aspiration that I should continue painting lines. And yeah, that was happening. And that was the time when Divyanshi just called up. She said, yeah, I want to meet you. I want to. And then she opened up. She just offered. She said, I want you to try this. It was again magical. I was like, it was like, I came to know that like mother is there along with me. How mother can actually, she understands every little aspiration we hold and how she gradually takes us over there. So this is how it all happened, the Savitri art for me. Yeah, thank you all for giving us this beautiful space. so that we could share our journey. And I would love, there are many cohorts happening, and I really want more of us to be there in this Savitri art, where we could take it out and make Savitri reach each and every person who aspires to be there. Thank you so much for this space. Really, thank you.
Thank you, Padma. That was such a beautiful sharing. Before Usha begins, a gentle reminder to everyone, we are really hearing so touching sharing. So we would really love to see all the smiling faces. We are receiving many smiles on chat, but would also love to see your faces. So gentle reminder to please switch on your videos. Usha, please go ahead.
Thank you, Padma. Pranams to Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. Thank you, Sahana and Padma, for sharing beautiful paintings. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the lotus from Sahana and Padma's beautiful, joyful, colorful oil paintings. Nice to see all the paintings again. Savitri Art Program is a beautifully designed one for the purpose of attaining the perfection in art. So I really like that idea of perfection in art. In Savitri painting course, I experienced, I actually loved the spontaneity, the spontaneous paintings, where we read lines from Savitri and paint on the spot, which I enjoyed a lot. But in this program, we have to perfect that same art, which is so hard actually. I really struggled to perfect the art. Let me share my screen here. I hope you can see mine. Yeah, yes. Yeah. Last year, I just started in the pandemic situation. All were at home last year. So I just started after a long time. I decided first to do only spiritual art, to do only painting or drawing related to the divine. So I started with doodles. I started with symbols, Sri Aurobindo symbol, mother symbol, like that. And one day I just took out the watercolor set and I wanted to paint it. So I usually did those kind of art, spiritual paintings on special days like Mother's birthday, Sri Aurobindo's Darshan days, so like that. So last year I started, I just wanted to do one painting on Krishna's birthday, Janmashtami. I just took my watercolor paint and started doing it. I really could not. I was so depressed. I cried to Mother. I prayed to her that the bad thing I did, that I could not even paint a simple painting, simple Krishna. I have done so many paintings. And after 10 years, I can't even simply draw the face of Krishna. What is that, Mother? Why it is happening to me? So I just prayed, and I used to do paintings usually on the evenings after puja, after meditation at home. So my prayer, I think Mother answered me. That same Krishna, I got it beautifully. The beautiful painting of Krishna came out. And after that, I'm seeing all my paintings beautifully emerging one by one by Mother's grace. So when I got to know about Savitri painting course, I was so happy, and I just joined it because Mother, painting, both so close to me. So I just joined it. I really enjoyed it. And now the Savitri art, I was not sure, I was just joined it. But it was a beautiful journey. It's very transformative to me. And first in my journey, I started with vision painting. For my vision, I got to paint the mother and Sri Aurobindo. Just a minute. Yes, this is my first painting, vision painting. I really struggled it because it was new to me. That portrait painting was so new. I could not paint the mother and Sri Aurobindo. I tried my best. I struggled a lot. It was so difficult to get the perfection in portrait. I just did so many sketches before finishing this. I got to do so many sketches because I want to see the sketches I previously made for this one painting. So many you can see. Yes, I was struggling to get. Struggling to get that vision in me. How they are standing, how they are holding the golden child, how they are shaping the baby, shaping the child into a divine one. So I struggled a lot, but my guide Divyanshi is so beautifully guided me throughout this whole month. She told me to practice, to see the photos of Sri Aurobindo and Mother every day for 10 minutes as a sadhana to get their divine features, how they look, how the love, the compassion, the grace. I don't know. I have put all this in the painting, but I tried my best. I'm so happy that I could do this much. So it was a beautiful experience, the vision painting. Though I struggled, though it was so difficult for me to get that vision, I could do it. I'm so happy to now when I see those days, I was so happy. So because something came out, I learned so much in this vision painting. I learned how to concentrate more, how to surrender to Mother, how to get her grace, how to practice patience. So these kind of things I learned through this vision painting. Then we see, these are the sketches I got before the painting. This is the second one. The next month, the whole month we did this line, creation leaped out of the hands of God. This line is so beautiful. Then I did few other than this, I did few more paintings on that line, where it was so joyful to even think of creation leaped out of the divine's hand. Beautiful, all are divine, with divine features. All are having love, peace there in the atmosphere. So it's kind of beautiful experience. So I just paint this picture, which is so close to my heart, so beautiful. I just put a human emerging out of the hands of the divine as the divine himself, as a divine. See the eyes, the beauty, the perfection. I can't say my painting is perfect. That's the beauty aura of the divinity. I really enjoyed the whole month of this line. Creation leaped out of the hands of God. I really simply enjoyed this. And then we have to choose a line from Savitri for the next month in Savitri art. So before this, I prayed to Sri Aurobindo to give me a beautiful line from Savitri where I can come out, I can grow, and people who are seeing those paintings can get benefit from that painting. So I prayed like that, and I got these beautiful lines. In the unapproachable stillness of his soul, intense, one-pointed, monumental lone, patient, he sat like an incarnate hope. It was so beautiful that I wanted to paint the soul. What is there in our psychic being? What is there hiding in us? Hiding the individuals, hiding the humans. If we see how it will be. So I want to experience that. So I just started with this human and the presence in the heart center, and then the same human going inside the heart center, and then experience this one experience inside, experiencing the light, reaching the soul, in evolving from that. So it was such a beautiful, beautiful experience to paint the soul, the colors, the orange, the blues, that just emerged, the pinks simply emerged, these colors. I simply enjoyed the whole month of the soul paintings. Yes, and these 3 months, it has been very transformative. See, this the whole Savitri we call as a mantra for transformation. So what I felt is what and all need to be transformed inside. It came to the surface. Impatience, intolerance, constant lack of concentration, everything came out to the surface. And my ego, my attachment to the paintings, how to come out of it and finish it. That was my, it became my sadhana. That was so difficult for me. One painting I got so attached. Wow, what a color. But nobody understood, nobody liked it. But for me, it's super, wow, what a color. I simply loved it. But that kind of attachment coming out of it is really challenging. But by the grace and by awareness, and by the grace, I got the awareness. And from the awareness, I could come out of it and made these paintings, which was a really beautiful journey. I really thank Divyanshi for such a wonderful, patientful, lovely guidance for each painting with lot of patience, simply guiding us, and made a perfect painting as an artist. She made as an artist itself to make it a complete, perfect paintings. And Archana and Manojda, both, though they are very busy, they spend time for us to make the art a perfect one, so that we get benefit and others also get benefited from those beautiful paintings. I really thank Divyanshi, Archana, and Manojda, and all others, Sahana, Padmadi, all worked, Palak, Surya, all worked to make websites, the catalogs, and giving us a gift to others. So much of work they are doing, so beautifully done as a collective team. So nice to have such a space with you guys. I thank you so much for this wonderful space. I feel like it's really a blessing from the Mother and Sri Aurobindo, who are guiding me to enjoy such paintings, and Divyanshi and team in helping me to grow, to progress, and others to progress. Such a wonderful space. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Usha, for such a lovely, lovely sharing, and to Padma and Sahana as well. So we will now hear from Divyanshi and Manoj. So today we are also launching our website for Savitri Art. So I'm once again sharing the link on the group, on the chat. So I'm sharing two links since a lot of you also want to know more about Savitri painting. So the first link you can just refer to know more about Savitri painting. You can just give your names for the upcoming cohorts. And if you really wish to get some of these paintings that Sahana, Padma, Usha, everybody has shared about, you can refer to the second link. The second link will have a Google form. You can just go through the Google form, after which you would be directed to a link from where the paintings can be downloaded from. We really would love to see how you're using these paintings. Some of you might want to use them as your mobile or laptop wallpapers, while some of you would want to get them printed on t-shirts so that we really carry them everywhere we go. Some of us might want to just take a print out and frame them and keep in our room. So once you really do them and make them part of your sacred spaces, do not forget to share them with us. We would really love to see how they are really increasing the sacredness and sanctity of your spaces. So as part of the form, you'll receive an email ID where if you could share some pictures and glimpses of it, it would really be lovely to see all of them. And now I'll invite Divyanshi and Manoj to share a bit more.
Okay, so the three of them have sufficiently embarrassed me by taking my name again and again. Would really also, by the way, love to see you all. It will be nice if it feels like, we are sitting in a circle together. So even as we are connecting from different parts of India, it doesn't feel like, that we are hiding behind the screen. It's like, imagine if we were physically sitting together, you would not wear a ghungat, right? In the circle. So kindly show your faces. It'll be really nice to see each other. So I first wanted to just begin with, just the kind of effort that these girls have put. I know all of us are just praising each other's and it can get a bit tiring for you guys to hear, but I really wanted to point out the kind of effort that has gone in. Usha, the vision painting that she shared, the painting where you see that child in that earth held by mother in Sri Aurobindo, she painted more than 50 paintings to get there. And when I say 50 paintings, it's very difficult because it's not 50 rough sketches that she painted. She painted 50 final versions from her end. So you can imagine if as an artist, each time you are creating a final version and you're getting a feedback on it, it's not equivalent to getting a feedback when you make digital art, because then you can still play around with it. These guys have to make a painting from scratch. We'll see one little feedback, one little alignment. She has to redo the full thing. So you can imagine, when I say 50 plus paintings, it's a mammoth work. And day after day, and I would tell Usha that, you don't need to put in so much of effort. You can just dedicate some hours during the week. But she was so enthused, and every day she would spend like hours and hours doing it. And keep sending me paintings over WhatsApp. At a certain point in time, even I started feeling guilty for giving feedback because she was just putting so much of effort. And I honestly, they've been saying patience. I mean, what patience? I'm only giving feedback. They are the ones redoing the painting again and again. So hats off to the kind of patience that it took. You saw Sahana's painting, that vision painting. It's also my mobile screen wallpaper that I have. I love it so much. I really feel the perfection that has come about in this painting. I'm totally in love with it. This was about after 20 final drafts. And Sahana, in particular, I'm also mentioning because Sahana was a complete non-artist. And when I say a complete non-artist, she didn't even have painting as a hobby. Even she couldn't have imagined that she's an artist, forget about anybody else. So this is a person who's a complete non-artist, and she's come up with something like this. It's another world, it's a magic, you know. And when I look at the perfection of the lotus in the painting, the perfection of the column of light, even the strands, you know, the beautiful thing about this painting is, I mean, I'm showing it on the mobile now, but even the way the strands are falling on the face, it's very difficult because there are layers you're painting, right? And for a non-artist to do it with guidance from a non-artist. So you can imagine a non-artist guiding another non-artist and then birthing something like this. Absolutely, absolutely, you know, amazing. And then Padma's painting, actually lately, the last painting that Padma did is also, I'm in love with one of those paintings. Palak, can I have, oh, I have the permissions to share screen. So this is the last painting. Padma didn't share this one because it's going to be a part of our next offering. So this is one of the latest paintings that Padma did. And this is, I'm totally in love with this painting. You can imagine it's a part of, you know, I look at this painting so many times during the day. I really feel what she managed to capture in this painting is really, really beyond words. Because you really see, you physically really see, because when I painted it, the vision I gave, you know, I don't have it right now. When you'll see the vision that I gave, which was so rough, and then she transformed it into this, I was myself like, oh my God, you know, I can see it physically. Because this painting is very, very unique. You see, it has gentleness, it has love, it has intensity. This is a woman riding a lion. You know, lion that is leaping, going into the golden oranges sun. But it's all surrounded by that pale pink and that very pale sky bluish hue. So really with that kind of a subtlety, that intensity being born, and just the way, you know, she's done the sari. And even if you look at the painting, I'll share it again, you know, I'm describing it. Even if you look at the feet of this woman, so gentle, such a gentleness in the feet of a woman who's leaping on a lion, right? And just look at the face, just even the details that Padma gives in her paintings. She made sure there are flowers in this woman's head. You know, this was not a part of my brief that I had given to Padma. It was not a part of my brief. The way, you know, she could have done the feet in so many different ways, but just the way she's done the feet, it is so feminine. It is such a feminine feat that she is given. So these very minor little details that go into making a painting. Even I told her that, you know, we'll give her very little jewelry. She's done this jewelry also with flowers. So these are details that, you know, she came up with herself. And that's when, you know, the painting becomes really a collaborative process. Even Usha's painting, you see that vision painting of holding a baby, it was really an evolution. It's Usha who said that, you know, maybe in my vision, what I had given, mother was on one side, Sri Aurobindo was on the other side, and there was a cradle, there was a hammock in the middle. That's the vision that I had seen. But she said, no, Sri Aurobindo has to stand a bit behind and mother has to hold it like this. So she changed the dimensionality of the painting altogether. And yeah, the kind of painting that, you know, she birthed at the end of it, it's really like, you know, the aspiration with which we had started, it's complete beginners, non-artists, but the aspiration is very beautifully put by the mother when she gave the guidelines for Matri Mandir garden. Mother said that, you know, I don't want you to tell anybody this is the garden of harmony. If a person comes to that garden of harmony, should feel harmony and should tell you, hey, this is the garden of harmony. You should not be telling the person this is the garden of harmony. So this was the debrief that, you know, these guys were given, that when you make a painting, and actually they've been talking about vision paintings 80% of the paintings are their own visions. They're not given by me or anybody to them. So it's completely an original work, something that is originally birthed through them. And so this was the debrief which was given to them again and again. You don't have to describe your paintings. If a person sees it, if your painting embodies peace, the person sees it, the person feels peace. You don't have to tell a story about, oh, this, symbolizes this, that. You don't have to give any intellectual explanation. And which is why, one of our recommendations is, and one of our gifts is, please put these paintings up as your desktop wallpaper, as your mobile wallpaper. We're giving it free of cost. But one thing that, it's like a little request from our end. If you can really give us something, give us screenshots and share with us experiences and feedback. Because let this be your sadhana, like in front of my bed also, there is a Savitri painting that I wake up to every day. So put these Savitri paintings in your study table, on your bedroom, in your workspace, on your mobile, on your screen. We've taken care to click it in high quality photography, crop it, make it such that they are printable, that you can print them in high quality, put it in different places, and then please share with us screenshots as well as your experiences with the painting as to how is it really influencing you. If we attempted, to depict stillness through a painting, and by meditating on it every day, could you experience stillness, or could we do something better to help you experience that stillness? So your feedback, your sharing, your screenshot, that will really mean a lot to us. So please go to the website. You'll see a link, get your own copy, request for paintings. There are buttons like that. You can click it. You'll be led to a Google form. You fill that Google form. You get all the 21 paintings free of cost. But one request that we do make is, please share with us the screenshots. Please share with us, how has the experience been for you? That is something that we really request. Another thing, of course, is if you want to see this movement towards Savitri art grow, because as you may be aware, art is something that also costs money purely in terms of materials if you want to do it well. Right? And these guys have been just giving themselves selflessly. They've also been funding all the art materials by themselves. So it's like that student quality art material, they are cheap, they're easy to buy, but the artist quality, that costs. And as you know, we are also wanting these artists to get trained a bit, trained into the form also, into specific dimensions of the form. So some budget, some money would also be good. So if you're able to donate, if you're in the financial health to be able to donate, the website also has a link to donate. The important thing is you mention donation towards Savitri art, because if you don't mention it, then the money comes to Auroville and we don't know where is it that you're wanting to give the money. So it's very important that you write it is towards Savitri art that you're wanting to give. But whatever you can give, even if you're giving like 100 rupees, but it's like your energetic contribution to that movement that is building, that is what matters. It's not so much how much. If you're able to give more, then give more. If you're able to give less, then you give less. If you're not at this stage able to give monetarily, then you give us your blessings and your good wishes and we will walk the path. So with that, thanks a lot. Thank you to each of you who attended so patiently, and we've really gone overboard with the time, but really thank you for your patient listening. Manoj, you have anything that you'd like to share?
Personally, I found this whole process as an excellent example of how simple sincerity can take us so smoothly on the path of sadhana and open up. Like Mother describing the process, just like a plant growing in the sunlight. Learning to open to Mother and Sri Aurobindo with that simple sincerity, it does really magic. And this is an example. And I'm extremely grateful to everyone who gave themselves to this process, trusted everyone, and yeah, growing together. Thank you.
Over to you, Palak.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for being here and for staying till so long. We know that we've really gone over by 30 minutes. So I've put the email ID on chat. In case there are any questions, do write to us and we'll be happy to respond over email, or if you want to talk to us, you can always reach out to either of us. We would be really happy to share more about Savitri art, about the process. And yes, like we would also love to receive how you're using these paintings further. So we, all of us have really, really requested you to please do share with us once you download them. It would really be very heartwarming to see all of them. With that, we'll all take a moment of silence and we'll close for the day. Thank you, everyone. Wish you a very good night. Looking forward to seeing a lot of pictures.
Thank you. So wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. It was lovely seeing everything.